live webinar. So we will be discussing about what is F5 and why F5 is in market. And we will basically discuss about local traffic manager. So what is F5, what is load balancer, and what is the course content we are covering. So guys, I will not go further more in details on, like you all know that we are starting one batch of F5 Ltm plus Palo Alto. And it's a combo batch which will be starting on 26th of December. It's a weekend batch, Saturday and Sunday, and fees is 10,000 rupees. So first we will start with Palo Alto. Once Palo Alto is completed, then we will start F5 Ltm. And the total duration of this class is, both the classes 60 hours. It can take 2.5 months or 3 months. So we had our Palo Alto demo yesterday by our CCI certified Hemu sir. Now I want to highlight what is F5, what is the demo agenda webinar, so that you can check the quality and evaluate. So guys, we will be covering the course agenda. We will be starting from why F5 is required. What is TMOS architecture? So like in Juniper, we have Junus. Like in F5, we have TMOS operating system, which is called traffic management operating system. And guys, all our topics will cover theory plus practical both. So F5 gives you 30 days license free. You can do all your labs in your laptop. No need of to purchase any license, no need to purchase any lab. So you just need a laptop with 8 GB RAM. So I will show you the lab topology which will be following it and what are the prerequisites. Now, if I talk about further, guys, we will talk about how to set up a lab. What are the LTM components? Like what is virtual server, what is pool member. So we will cover all these things in detail. Then we will cover load balancing algo, guys. We will cover how traffic is distributed by F5. Then we will cover health monitor in detail. Like there are multiple health monitor, TCP, HTTP, how we can create it, how we can troubleshoot. Then we will cover HTTP profiles, TCP profile, one connect profile, everything in detail. It will be all practicals, like why HTTP profile is required, why TCP is required, and how in production these profiles will help. And then the most important topic which will help you to crack interview or in production is NAT and SNAT. SNAT has been asked in every interview, guys, and it's required in production also. Then we will cover I rules. I rules are getting replaced with local traffic policy now. I will show you how it is, and we will cover 5 to 6 scenarios also. Then we will cover HA part in detail, high availability. Guys, you know that right now in troubleshooting, CLI is important part. If someone is covering CLI, you should know that. If you know any technology like F5, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, you need to go in CLI also. So I will tell you how to configure everything in CLI, how to troubleshoot, how to take packet captures. TCP dump is a utility. All your F5 works on TCP dump. So you need to take your Wireshark captures, you need to run TCP dump. F5 runs on your Linux operating system. So you should know what is an operating system which is running behind F5. Then we will cover about how to configure NTP, DNS, all these things, partition route domains in this. Then there is one more important topic which comes into picture is troubleshooting an IAP. So we will cover a 4-hour special sessions on troubleshooting. So what is our criteria, guys? Let me show you quickly. So what is my criteria would be in our training is we will cover all details in detail in 10,000. It's not like that F5 will be covered in 5 hours, Palo Alto will be over in 5 hours. So it's a dedicated course which will cover in detail. And now let's go to the agenda. What is the actual agenda of a demo? So let me first tell you We have covered the course content. Now, next topic is what is F5 load balancer and a career path in F5. Right now, we have many people who are freshers. We have many people who are working professional, who are working on routing and switching. They want to know that how it will help us. So guys, this all topic, as I told you, first of all, you can do all labs practically. Even you are a 10 years experienced person or a 5 years experience, you can do all labs and you can show them, guys. We can guarantee 100% that you can work in production if you work hard with us. You can crack any number of interview. We have been many people in our training who have done our courses and they are able to crack it. So I will not go in these details like 100% or what is that. You can check the quality. We have a YouTube channel which we will show you. You can check the quality of our videos, what we teach. So people come on to us like how I can show the experience. So guys, experience cannot be shown by theory. You need to learn theory, plus you need to tell them about the practical stuffs also. So first question, if I go to an interview, question will be asked is day-to-day activities. What you cover day-to-day in F5? Second question you should know is, can you tell me the top 5 issues which you have faced in your production environment? That can only be done if you know the topic, guys. So I will discuss everything whenever I discuss any topic, let's say about load balancer, or let's say about how to configure management IP. So in every class, I will give you that which topic is very, very important. You can make a note of that and you can practice. So if you go into any interview, these 2 questions are very, very important. Now guys, what is load balancer? How it came into picture? So as you see in the figure, F5 is a company. So by the name, F5 is a company like Cisco, Juniper. And F5 has a product called Big IP. Big IP is nothing, but it's a product. F5 has a product called Big IP and Big IP has different modules. So a load balancer, we have a load balancer called LTM. Then we have a DNS, which is called GTM. Then we have another solution, which is called Access Policy Manager. So F5 can act as a firewall, F5 can act as a SSL VPN, F5 can act as a layer 3 firewall, F5 can also act as a layer 7 firewall, guys. Very, very important term you need to know. So these are the F5 is a company and it has a product called Big IP. Big IP has been segregated into different modules. F5 can work as a load balancer also. F5 can work as a DNS solution also. F5 can also do SSL VPN single sign-on. And F5 can also work as a web application firewall, which is in huge demand nowadays. So you need to be very, very clear on these topics, what exactly is. And if you go into any company, just go into naukri.com and search the market value of F5. People ask like, hey, why I want to do F5? First of thing, what is the advantage of F5 doing is you have a 30 days license free. I will show you how can register it. You can do practice n number of features freely. Before you deploy any application, you can practice n number of features free of cost. Third thing, why it is advantage is you have a good documentations. You can search hundred of documentations on Dev Central. So there is Dev Central where you will get n number of articles, how to troubleshoot, how to do SSL and everything. And the fourth thing is support. If you have any issues, you can get tech support quickly. So this is why F5 is preferred. Now, if I come further into the case, guys, F5 can be deployed on virtual edition. It can be deployed on cloud and it can be deployed on hardware also. So guys, another question which comes into mind is, when I am an interview or you are an interview, another question which comes into market is, can you please tell me which models you have worked? Interviewer will ask this question for sure, so that he come to know whether you're working on F5 or not, or you are just fake. So you should know which modules are available in market. That is a very important term which you need to understand. So now guys, if I say which modules are available, you can see the model number. So F5 basic module is 2000 series. Then if you go later on 4000, 5000 series, all series are available in market. Now you can also check, you can deploy virtual edition, physical or hybrid, it's up to your customer. So that's very, very important. You should know which module you are working on. So this is the big IP platforms. You can choose the right platform based on your traffic, based on your throughput. You can deploy. So now guys, this is different modules which are available. Now guys, we will see we have two figure number 1, figure number 2. This is without an F5. When F5 is not coming in picture. When I'm saying F5, I'm talking about F5 Ltm. Ltm is nothing but a local traffic manager. That is all about your F5, and this is acting as a load balancer. So I will show you in pictorial representation. Figure number 1, you don't have a load balancer. Figure number 2, you have a load balancer. So what is the difference between without a load balancer and with load balancer? So guys, let's say we don't have a F5 here. Can you see there is no F5? There is an internet, there is a router, then there is a firewall, then there is one server. So guys, what happens in this case? You have multiple customers coming into the picture. They want to access SIANETS.com or any website called google.com. In that case, what will happen, guys? All your requests are going to a single server. So what happened? First case, it will be 100% utilized. Your server will be 100% utilized because one server cannot handle the load properly. Let's say this server has a limitation of 1000 requests. This server can handle only 1000 requests at a time, but my client are sending 2000 requests. So customer is very big. He wants to access SIANETS.com and he wants that to be get handled properly. So can you tell me, this server has only a capacity of 1000 requests. How it can handle 200,000 requests together? So for this, what will happen, guys? Server will be overutilized. You will get slowness issues. Second case. Third case, which you find will be, Emu sir, can you just mute everyone?
Sure.
And the third case which you will have is,
Just unmute yourself, Mr. Bidit.
and the third case, guys, so we are sorry for delay. So first case, what I was discussing, what your server will be overutilized. Second case is you will face slowness issues. Third case is sometimes your server will be down totally. And let's say this server goes down, you will not able to access website on internet. So there is no point of redundancy here, guys. If this server goes down, your application will be down. So there will be no redundancy. Very, very important. So this is an advantage. Sorry, this is a disadvantage when you don't have a F5. Now that is where F5 comes into picture. What are the advantage if you deploy F5 in a picture? Let's say now you have a F5 after a firewall. What is the advantage of that? First advantage, guys, would be, can you see your client request will go, first request will go to this server, second request will go to this server, third request will go to this server, and fourth request will go to this server. load balancing is happening properly. Your servers are not overutilized because this resource is also utilizing, this resource is also utilizing, these servers are also utilizing. So you can say proper resource utilization. Very, very important, guys. Third advantage, the main advantage, guys, is even this server goes down, your application is, let's say SIANETS.com, which is deployed behind F5, is still accessible. My customers say, hey, Skilled Inspirational Academy, I want my application 24/7 accessible. So I can say, yes, sure, sir, we can make it. So what I will deploy an F5 with multiple server. Even this server goes down, your request will be handled by these two servers. So that is an advantage of a F5 load balancer, and this is a very, very important. So what are the three advantages? If someone asks you, what are the three advantages of F5? Why I should deploy F5? First advantage is availability. Your application is 24/7 available. Scalability. And third solution is performance. So these are the three advantages you should deploy F5. F5 is also known as a application delivery controllers. That is also F5. So there are multiple load balancer in market. Citrix NetScaler, F5, Array load balancer. So that is an advantage of a normal load balancer. You can see F5 is coming into picture and we have multiple servers. Same application is hosted here also. Same application is hosted here also. Same applications are hosted on these servers also. That is why we require F5 load balancer. Now guys, you must have heard the term reverse proxy. You must have heard the term forward proxy. Now the combination of these two proxies are called full proxy. So F5 is known as a full proxy architecture, another very, very important term, technique which we will follow in our training. Very, very important, guys. If someone is new, they don't have heard about term full proxy. So full proxy means, guys, F5 will act as a proxy. Let's say customer is there in internet and we have server called pool member. Pool member is nothing but your application server where your application is hosted. So full proxy means there will be a separate session between your client to F5 and there will be a separate session between F5 to server. Two separate TCP handshake will be done. One three-way handshake between client to F5, one three-way handshake will be done from F5 to server. These sessions can be encrypted. It's my choice. And this session can be unencrypted. Let's say my customer only want front-end connection to be encrypted. Back-end connection, I don't want encrypted. So what I can say is this one, I want encrypted session. So guys, F5 has two terms in picture. If I segregate F5, F5 is called a front-end connection and back-end connection. So front-end plus back-end connection, combination of this is called full proxy. Backend means there will be a connection from F5 to server. Front end means your internet connection client wants to connect to your website, google.com or sianets.com. And that is all about your full proxy. Let's say I want this connection to be encrypted, I want this to be HTTPS and this to be HTTP, plain text, because this is internal, right? Your backend, mostly backend connection is internal. This is external world. You want this to be encrypted. So that is where the term called SSL offloading comes into picture. Very, very important term, guys. Until this three-way handshake is completed, guys. Until client to F5 connection three-way handshake is successful, then only F5 will select pool member. If this connection fails, F5 will not send traffic further. So that is another advantage. Your client will never come to know which server request is going. Another advantage is a security. Client will never come to know which backend server he is communicating. So that is where F5 is also acting as a proxy solution. You can say in the figure there will be separate client and separate server connection. Now let me tell you the traffic flow so that you can get more idea on that. So guys, we will be following a lab topology. In lab topology, first thing is you need to understand the network architecture. So guys, in our topology, you can see the client is connecting to the internet. Then we have F5 load balancer. Then we have servers behind a load balancer. We have 4 servers. And I have given, so I have segregate this F5 into 2 networks. So logically, if I say one network is called, I will call external network. One network I will call internal network. So all my servers will be on internal. Let's say I select internal network as 10.2.2.0/24. My external network is basically my client network. So client will initially go to and access the website. Let's say website is SIANETS.com. So my external network I am selecting as 192.168.1.0. So my URL IP will be from this network. So that is, so one of the important option which comes into picture when client open his browser, in browser he types sianets.com. Sianets.com should resolve to an IP address that will be done by your DNS server. For this, what sianets.com on F5 you need to configure one virtual server, guys. Virtual server is nothing but URL IP address of any website. As simple as that. You can say URL of website and that should have some IP address. So what you will say, hey, DNS server, if someone access sianets.com, please point that traffic to F5 load balancer. That is what you will done on F5. You don't need to done anything on your any DNS related terms. You don't need to do on F5. F5 works on layer 3. F5 works on layer 3. All your DNS will be done, resolution will be done by DNS server. So now once resolution happens, so what happens is client will access sianets.com. This is the website. First, it will go to your DNS server. DNS server will give IP address. Let's say IP address is 192.168.1.80. Then you will configure the same on your F5, which is called virtual server. So client will then hit all your traffic will come to this IP. Once traffic receives here, your three-way handshake is completed. First DNS resolution will done, then a three-way handshake will be done. Then F5 will select server based on load balancing algo. That which client request go to which server will be done by load balancing algo. So we will cover this in detail. So that is how your traffic flows, guys. So now let's come into another term which is very, very important is how F5 looks like. So F5 as an hardware, guys, let's say if it's a 2000 series. So F5 has different port. So F5 has one management port, F5 has one console port, then this is our data ports. And then we will have one failover port, which is called high availability. Then we have one USB port. If you want to install fresh, install yours. If you want to upgrade any F5, you can also use your pen drive. So this is how your F5 looks like. Now guys, if I come across, let me go further. Now if I talk about my setup, my lab topology. So what I have done is I will be using VMware Workstation. In VMware Workstation, I will use one F5 image. Then I will be using one server image, which is red, green, blue server. So I will be using 3 servers. And then we will have one Windows XP machine. So in this case, guys, what will happen is I will deploy F5. F5 has 4 interfaces. One is external, one is internal, one is management, and one is called HA. So when we deploy an F5, first thing what you need to do is you will configure management IP. When you deploy F5 from scratch, guys, first question comes into picture is everyone will ask you this question in detail. So I'm coming into that point. How to deploy F5 from scratch? What are the prerequisites? How you can deploy F5 from scratch? First thing is you need to configure management IP. So how to do that? Let's do it. I will go into putty. Or directly what you can do, you have a VMware, okay? Let me show you VMware. Just let me. So this is my VMware. I will start this machine. Now my first type command is I will type CONFIG. So the command to configure management IP from console is you need to type this command CONFIG. So I'm configuring F5 from scratch. Even in production, you can do this. Once you get new F5 box, unpack it. Just ask your data center engineer to connect your F5 to the console port. Then you need to, once you get a console, you just need to type this command CONFIG. I will cancel this. I will press OK. Now it will ask whether you want to use automatic configuration or you want to configure manually. So I will type no. Now I have given management IP. So I'm using in my VMware 4 interfaces, guys. When I go here, I'm using 4 subnets, which I will show you. One I'm using external, one I'm using for management. Management subnet I'm using in this network, 192.168.137.0 network. So I will configure IP from this segment. So I will type OK. I've given IP address. My subnet mask is /24. I will press OK. Yes, that's it. So this is a 2 steps. You just need to type one command CONFIG. That's it. You can configure everything in detail. Now, once it's configured, I want to access from browser. How you can access it? I will type HTTPS 192.168.137.220. So from your browser, you just need to, in your browser, any Google Chrome, Mozilla, just type HTTPS://192.168 137, whatever the IP you have given. So I will go into advanced, I will accept it, and this is the screen you will get it. What is the password to log in through GUI? Username is admin, password is admin. Now I will cancel it. I will type username admin, password admin. So this is how your F5 looks like, which means I am able to configure management IP. First step has been done. Your F5 is accessible to you. Now you can configure everything future. You can ask your data center engineer, hey, I've done with the configuration. Thank you, have a nice day. So now guys, the next step, which is very, very important, is licensing. As I told, F5 gives you 30 days license free of cost. How to get it? So let me show you the website to access it. I will go into Google Chrome. I will type 30 days license F5. So I will go to this link, product trials. I will log in. I will click login or register. I will type email ID and password. So if you are a new user, you can create one, like click on create. Now guys, here can you see 30 days free trial license. You can, if you're using cloud edition, you can get for that. You can also get for virtual edition. So guys, that is how you can configure. What is the purpose of your trial? You can say current evaluating ADC LB products. What is your job function? You can select security architect, network architect, cloud architect. Which trial you want? If you're deploying F5 on cloud, you can select Big IP Cloud Edition. If you're using Big IP Virtual Edition, just select Big IP Virtual Edition. How many license? You can just select 3 license key. And then you need to type verification AE7. That is how easy you can configure it. Just go in and type 30 days license. Just I will request. And you will get an email confirmation license key on your email ID. It logged out. Let me log in again. I'm just entering again. What is your job function? Big IP. I want 3 license D7W. So I'm requesting license key from F5. F5 will verify. So can you see this? Thank you for your interest. I will get my keys on my email ID. Then what is the next step, guys? You need to license F5 box. You will go here. You just need to go to System tab, license key. Here you just need to click, because I've already licensed. Can you see? I have my license configured on 2021 December 17th, and it's getting expired on 2022, 1 month. If you want to register, you will get this screen. You just need to type the key, whatever you get on your email ID. You can just register it. If your F5 has internet connectivity, select automatic. If you don't have, click on manual. Next. Go to licensing server, just copy paste this dossier file. I will say next. Because I've already registered, I will get an error. So see guys, I got my license key. I will say Control A and I will just put. Then next. That is all. How simple is it? Then I will say next. The next step is, guys, I want to configure my F5 Ltm. So there are three modes, guys. This is very, very important. Nominal, dedicated, and minimum. Let's say in future, if some customer comes in, hey, I want to use F5 as DNS solution as a WAF. Then you can use, right now, you can only provision F5 Ltm. Even if you have a license, you need to license that module. You need to provision also. So right now I only want LTM because in this course we are using LTM. So I will select nominal submit. So it will dedicate RAM and hard disk. So that is all about your license part. So this is how we configured license. So we have done management IP configuration, licensing part, and provisioning part. Next type is, guys, we need to configure network subnet. So to configure network subnet, you need to understand how your topology looks like. So in generally in my production environment, what I will be using is I will have internet. From internet, I will have a firewall, let's say in DMZ. From DMZ, I will have a switch, which is layer 2 switch. Then I will have F5. Then I will have one more switch. Then I will have servers, application servers or web servers. So this network will be on external. This one will be on external because one IP from same subnet. Let's say this subnet is 192.168.1.0/24 and this subnet is internal. So you will create two VLANs on F5. One is external VLAN, one is internal VLAN. And you need to tag this VLANs on interfaces. So how topology looks like is when you go into F5, your F5, first you need to configure interface. Interface will be bind to your VLANs. VLANs are bind to your self IP. Self IPs are nothing but is a SVI in Cisco routers. So that is how you configure it. Self IP is nothing but a layer 3 IP address assigned to VLAN. That is as simple as that. It's just an SVI. When you create any external VLAN or internal VLAN, you will have an IP address. So that is about network setup. So how you can go it? You need to go here, network tab. First, you need to check interfaces. How many interfaces are there? 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, like that. So these are default interfaces which are available. First, you configure it. Then you will create two VLANs. One is external, which I will take to one interface which is external, and one interface I will create internal. Then you will create self IP. Self IP is nothing but a layer 3 IP of an VLAN. Let's say my server, I have three servers. Server 1, server 2, server 3. So what is their gateway? So gateway will be this network, 10.2.2.51. Self IP is nothing but a layer 3 IP address of the VLAN. So once you configure it, then you will configure your nodes. Like if I have three servers in my topology, I have three servers. I will configure this. Then I will create virtual server like SIANET.com. Then I will give IP address and I will go to resources and I will bind that pool members. So the topology is your client will hit your F5 virtual server. Then this will get load balance between multiple servers, S1, S2, S3. So how traffic will go? Now let me show you. You go here, 192.168.1.60. So this is how your load balancing will happen. If you refresh it, you will get different pages. Depends on how many servers are active. Right now only red server. Let me open red, green and blue. So you will get it. So if I refresh it, see. So it means load balancing is happen properly. So this is how